Hey everyone, before we jump right in, if you could just take a quick moment to subscribe and turn on that notification bell, it would be amazing. And of course, liking this and leaving a comment really does help support the channel. Your engagement means the world.
All right, let's get into it. Have you ever found yourself hesitating when you're trying to talk about where someone is from? Today, we are going to get this all sorted out. We're going to master the language for talking about countries, nationalities, and, of course, people. It seems pretty straightforward, but there are a few common traps that people fall into, and we're going to learn how to avoid them so you can speak with total confidence.
So here's what we've got lined up today. First, we're going to lock down the absolute basics: country, nationality, and language. Then we'll zoom out and take a look at the world map. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of how to talk about groups of people. And we'll wrap things up by tackling some super common mistakes that, trust me, we can fix right here today.
Okay, first things first, let's build our foundation. Understanding the link between these three little words, country, nationality, and language, is absolutely key to everything else we're going to talk about.
Okay, so take a look at this. What's really interesting here is just how neatly these ideas connect. You can see the pattern, right? The country is the place, like Australia. The nationality, Australian, is the adjective we use to describe someone or something from there. And then the language is what they speak, in this case, English. Now notice how sometimes the nationality and the language are the exact same word. Like with France, a French person speaks French. Simple. But for Brazil, a Brazilian person speaks Portuguese. It's a small difference, but it's a really crucial one to remember.
And here's how it all comes together in a totally natural sentence. I come from Argentina, that's the country, so I'm Argentinian, that's the nationality, and my first language is Spanish. And there's the language. See how it flows? This is the exact pattern you want to get comfortable with for your own conversations.
Okay, so we've nailed the basics for individual countries. Now let's zoom out a little bit and look at the bigger picture, how we group countries into these larger continents and regions.
So of course, we've got the 7 major continents. These are the world's biggest land masses. You probably know most of these already. We've got Europe, Africa, Asia, North and South America, Australia, and way down at the bottom, Antarctica. This gives us that really broad, global view.
But it's not just about continents, is it? We also use these specific regional names that you're going to hear all the time in the news and in conversations. For example, people will talk about the Middle East, which includes countries like Saudi Arabia, or the Far East for places like Japan and Thailand. You'll also hear about the Caribbean islands, or Scandinavia up in Northern Europe. Knowing these terms is really key to following along with global discussions.
Now, for a very, very important grammar point, how do we talk about all the people from a country? I mean, as a group. It's not always as simple as just sticking an S on the end of the word. So let's break down the rules.
So here's the big question. If we want to talk about everyone from, let's say, Brazil, do we say Brazilians? Yeah, that sounds right. But what about people from Japan? Is it Japans? That doesn't sound right, does it? Well, the answer is, it depends. There are 2 main patterns you need to know.
Okay, here they are, the 2 rules. You're going to want to pay close attention to this. Rule 1 is for nationalities that end in sounds like I or an. For these, we just add an S. So one Brazilian becomes many Brazilians. One Russian becomes Russians. Easy enough. But then there's rule 2. This is for nationalities ending in sounds like is or ch or s. For these, we do something different. We add the word the, and, this is important, we don't add an s. So we say the Japanese, the British, the French. This is a huge point of confusion for so many learners, so this is a real game changer to get right.
Now, if you're ever in a conversation and you're feeling a bit unsure, or you just have a blank and can't remember which rule to use, here's a fantastic tip. This is your safe option. You can always just say the nationality followed by the word people. For instance, Brazilian people or British people.
This structure works for every single country, no exceptions. It's a perfect fallback that is simple and always, always correct.
We've covered the rules, so now let's get really practical and focus on fixing some of the most common mistakes that English learners make. Seriously, getting these few things right will make your English sound so much more natural.
First one up, and this one is a biggie. It's totally non-negotiable. In English, capitalization. All countries, all nationalities, and all languages must start with a capital letter. Always. It's not English with a little e, it's always English with a capital E. Same for French, Spanish, Japanese, every single one of them.
Okay, a little quiz for you. Think about it for a second. When you're talking about all that delicious cuisine from the country of France, what do you actually call it? This is a classic mistake.
And the correct answer is French food. The rule here is that we use the nationality, which is the adjective to describe something that comes from the country. So you don't use the country name France like an adjective, you use the nationality French. So it's Italian food, not Italy food. It's Chinese food, not China food. Makes sense, right?
And our final common error for today, this one is all about that tiny little word, the. For countries whose names include words like states, kingdom, republic, or are plural like the Philippines, we have to use the article the right before the name. So you don't say, I visited USA. You have to say, I visited the USA. Same thing for the UK or the United Arab Emirates. It's a small word, I know, but it makes a really big difference.
So let's do a super quick recap of the most crucial points. Number 1, always remember that connection between country, nationality, and language. 2, always use capital letters. 3, use the nationality as an adjective to describe things like French food. And finally, number 4, don't forget to use the for countries like the USA and the UK. If you can keep these 4 points in mind, you'll be in absolutely great shape. And that brings us to the end of our lesson today. To finish up, I want to leave you with a question to think about. It can be in English or any other language you've studied. What's the most surprising or maybe the strangest grammar rule you've ever had to learn? Let us know down in the comments. I'd be really interested to hear your stories. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like, and leave a comment to support the channel.